Greetings, dear listeners, and welcome to the Age of Steel and Fire. In this new series, we'll journey through the most iconic battles ever fought, where strategy, courage, and fate collided to shape the course of history. In the mid-14th century, Europe was engulfed in the flames of a war that would last over 100 years, the 100 Years' War. Among countless battles, one stood out as a turning point in the history of warfare. The Battle of Crécy, where a small English army, armed with longbows and superior tactics, defeated a massive French force. Not through numbers, but through intelligence. Not through brute force, but through innovation. In this video, we'll uncover the clash that shook medieval military doctrine, a battle where courage, pride, and tragedy collided on the fields of Crécy. To understand the Battle of Crécy, we must go back to the roots of the conflict, the 100 Years' War. In 1337, King Edward III of England claimed the French throne after the Capetian dynasty ended without a male heir. But King Philip VI of France rejected his claim, sparking a war that would last over a century. Nearly a decade later, in 1346, Edward launched a major campaign, landing in Normandy with around 14,000 troops. His goal: to push deep into French territory, pressure Philip VI, and force concessions. Meanwhile, Philip VI assembled a massive army, over 40,000 strong, including noble cavalry, Genoese crossbowmen, and infantry. He believed the English would be crushed by sheer force. The two armies met at Crécy, a small village in northern France. No one expected that here, history would take a dramatic turn. The battle took place on August 26, 1346, near the village of Crécy-en-Ponthieu in northern France. The English, led by King Edward III and the Black Prince, Edward of Woodstock, chose high ground with a wide view and strong defensive position. They built a solid battle line, placing longbowmen on both flanks, infantry at the center, and cavalry in reserve. Their main weapon was the longbow, twice the range of a crossbow, faster firing rate, and excellent armor penetration. But more notably, this was the first recorded use of early cannons in European warfare. The English brought around 5 primitive gunpowder weapons that created loud explosions and psychological shock. Though not highly lethal, they disrupted enemy morale. Meanwhile, the French arrived in disarray. With no clear plan, they relied on noble cavalry to crush the English. Philip VI ordered Genoese crossbowmen to attack first, but they were exhausted from the march, and heavy rain had soaked their bowstrings, reducing effectiveness. When the Genoese retreated, the French king, furious, sent in the cavalry. Chaos erupted. French knights trampled their own allies, only to be cut down by waves of English arrows. Throughout the battle, the thunderous sound of English cannons added to the panic. It was the first time gunpowder echoed across a European battlefield, signaling the dawn of a new era. By nightfall, thousands of French soldiers lay dead. Among them was King John of Bohemia, blind, yet resolute. He asked to be tied to his knights and rode into battle one last time. Crécy was not just a military victory, it was proof of a tactical revolution, from the glory of noble cavalry to the power of strategy, technology, and psychological warfare. Dear listeners, amid the smoke and chaos of the Battle of Crécy, one moment silenced history, a moment of pure courage. King John of Bohemia, completely blind, chose to ride into battle. He could not see his enemies, could not fight on his own, but he could choose how he lived, and how he died. According to chronicles, John ordered his horse to be tied to those of his knights, so he could charge into the fray alongside them. He knew this was a one-way ride. When the battle ended, his body was found among thousands of fallen French soldiers, still bound to his companions. John did not win the battle, but he earned eternal respect. In a clash where tactics and technology prevailed, he stood as the final symbol of chivalry, fighting not for victory, but for honor. As night fell over the fields of Crécy, the outcome was undeniable, a decisive English victory. Historical records estimate that the French lost over 10,000 men, including hundreds of nobles, knights, and high-ranking commanders. In contrast, English casualties numbered only in the hundreds. This victory wasn't just military, it struck at the heart of French aristocratic pride. It proved that strategy and positioning could overcome traditional might. Following the battle, Edward III marched north and captured the port city of Calais, a strategic stronghold that England would hold for over 2 centuries. Crécy forced European kingdoms to rethink their military structures, shifting from reliance on noble cavalry to training professional infantry and adopting long-range weaponry. It marked the beginning of a transformation in the art of war, where intelligence, technology, and tactics began to eclipse honor and tradition. The Battle of Crécy was more than a military triumph, it marked a turning point in the evolution of warfare. Before Crécy, medieval battles were dominated by chivalric ideals, noble cavalry, gleaming armor, and combat as a display of honor. But Crécy proved that honor could not withstand tactics, and steel could not stop a storm of arrows. The English longbow, once underestimated, became a symbol of tactical superiority. It didn't just change how battles were fought, it reshaped entire armies, shifting power from noble knights to professional infantry. After Crécy, European kingdoms began reforming their militaries, investing in training, engineering, and ranged weaponry. It was the first step toward the birth of modern warfare. And perhaps the greatest lesson of Crécy is this: in war, as in life, the victor is not always the strongest, but the one who adapts the fastest. The Battle of Crécy reminds us that history isn't just written in victories, it's written in lessons. From King John's bravery, to Edward III's strategy, and the fall of noble cavalry, each moment shaped an unforgettable chapter in the story of war. If you believe history isn't just dates and numbers, but living stories full of emotion and meaning, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, so we can keep exploring the battles, the people, and the moments that shaped our world.